Hello everyone, I'm Caroline.
And I'm Phil. And I didn't have my sound on, honest.
No, until about 1 second before the show started. So, hello.
Hopefully we've got sound out there, yes.
Everything seems
it looks good this
time.
time. We had chaos again tonight, didn't we? Tech support Tim was brought in.
I've got a bright light on my audio input capture. That shouldn't be working. There we are. See if that's any better.
I don't know.
Still wobbling a lot. Let's go down to the bottom, see if we got any comments. Video and audio are good.
Excellent. Right. That's what we want to hear.
Right, so there we go. Let's find out who are the first. You keep an eye on the bottom of the comments just in case I've done something that's turned the sound off.
Right.
So first in tonight was Phyllis Williams. Well done, Phyllis. Second in was Bonnie Tyler-Fant. Well done, Bonnie Tyler-Fant. And in third place it was... Oh, let's have a look. It's just a second. Need my glasses. Jen W. Well done, Jen W. Our first three with podium places tonight. Congratulations.
Excellent. And it's good to be back.
It is.
Because, of course, although we've been putting the videos out each week, we were away last week because we were actually travelling back home from Hastings, weren't we? Well, we should have been doing a live show.
We were on the road.
On the road we were, on the M4 motorway. We didn't get back here till 10:30, which would have been no use to the live show as it starts 9 o'clock UK time.
And you wouldn't have wanted us, even if we could go live. Years ago, they promised us full internet coverage all the way down the M4 corridor. It never happened. We can't even get radio half the time.
No, DAB radio disappears.
Yeah, so we certainly couldn't, not that it'd be very interesting, in a dark car, travelling along, you couldn't see us.
I remember my dear old Uncle Albert, a wonderful, precious man, lovely character, and he liked his radio. And at one time he had a radio set to each station he liked to listen to. That way he didn't have to turn the dial. He just turned on the correct radio and it would give him his station. And he changed over all of his radios to DAB, and he was buying everybody in the family DAB radios ready for when they disconnected the signal, because it was going to happen any time. And they gave a date, and then it didn't happen, and they gave a date, and it didn't happen. And dear old Uncle Albert has now been no longer with us for 5 years. He passed away, and we still can't switch over to DAB in Britain because you just haven't got a signal.
No.
All I'm going to say is I don't fancy a driverless car. If we can't even get a radio signal when we're going down the M4, can you imagine all the cars just grinding to a halt? Sorry folks, lost the signal.
Well, it went really quiet. It's back on again now. I have no idea what's going on my desk. This thing flashing all red.
Sound good now, everybody's
when
saying?
I turn it off, it's just...
Whatever the buttons are doing.
So I'm going to ignore the big red warning light, okay? So
sound better.
If it all goes wrong.
Rachel Bailey's got a birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel's 21.
Right. Again. I don't want to know how many times you've been 21.
No, I think we've celebrated at least 2 21st birthdays with Rachel, at least. So
with Rachel, no. I thought you meant yes. I was thinking 21 and then starting again.
No, she's 21 most years.
Ignore me. It's been a long day.
Rachel, on the 8th.
On the 8th, so where are we now? It's the 3rd, so 5 days away. Right,
Thursday.
Happy birthday for Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday on the 8th. Got a birthday coming up, so that's excellent. Happy birthday to you. And anything else happening there? No, everybody just telling me how wonderful the sound is.
Yeah, that's good.
Wishing lots of happy birthdays. But of course, this week we do have a few finds that we'll share as we go through the evening, because we didn't have video last week that was live. So our questions are all based on this week's video, Halifax Town.
Yes.
But our finds are a few bits and pieces that I've picked up from the things we were looking at on the beach when we had a bit of a traumatic experience. Oh my Lord. When I got back to the Premier Inn, we travelled up over 2 hours from our Premier Inn, spent a wonderful time with Tom, had a fantastic day up there. Weather was glorious, came back, and I said to Karen, I don't believe this, look. And then I was going, everything was on super fast. Remember?
Yes, it was.
So, but we saved the day.
Yes.
We did.
Well,
we got a video out of it.
And we've done well this week, so
Yeah.
we're amazing ourselves. In all.
Yeah,
There's been so much bad weather, but we're actually okie dokie.
There will be pipe stems to see today
Oh.
from last week.
Kitchen worker said, Mum and Dad, I'm back after you were so complimentary about my hometown of Halifax. Hello, welcome back.
Yes, I saw your comment on the comments. I haven't got around to answering them all yet, but I did see it there, saying how lovely it was to see the hometown. And it's absolutely right. We've had so many comments on people if we've gone round places that when we go there, it looks so different because they're looking through our eyes. And we learnt this many years ago when a few students that were in the school that my mum worked at up in London, the language school, came down and visited. And we stood next to them and they started saying how beautiful the view was. And they were looking at a place that I had played in since I was a child. And I saw it as more beautiful that day than I ever had before. Because I thought, what are they on about? It's our river, it's the trees, it's the mountains, it's what we've always lived with. But soon as somebody comes in new, it comes over differently, doesn't it?
Thank you, Ed. I'm forever telling Phil, come over this way a bit. He's miles away, isn't he?
Well,
he's wandering out.
The problem we've got is, I'm not here when Caroline connects up the camera.
Yes.
So I don't know where I am until the camera comes on. I'm already there.
So there we go. I think well, at least you can see a bit more of Phil now. Nobody wants to see his other shoulder anyway.
I'll just read a few lines from an email I had.
Right, go on.
I haven't even replied to my email yet, but I've read it. I'll just read a few lines from this email because this is great, because this is not only about seeing it through somebody else's eyes, but also this person, Halifax person, could share some insight onto what we saw from their past. Because in the email it said, thank you so much for your visit to Halifax this Friday, as it looks different through someone else's eyes. As I was born nearly 70 years ago in Halifax, I know all the places you visited, but I was so pleased that the weather looked nice and sunny for you, as when it rains, Halifax does not look her best. Now that's true of everywhere we go.
Yes.
I always say that everywhere looks nicer in the sunshine.
If ever we're buying a house, I never look at it in the sunshine and think I don't want to see it in the rain. I always make sure I see it in the rain.
And when it comes to gardens, they always look better in the snow.
Oh, yes.
They all look...
Nobody's got weeds when there's deep snow.
No, even my neighbour's garden looks good in the snow. The Arcade Royal that you stood at the entrance of used to be owned by the Co-op. And it covered the whole street, going back up to the top and emerges on another street. I worked there when I was 16 years old in the haberdashery shop, but when they were busy, I had to help out in other departments. And I thought that was lovely. You know, that's a living
history.
Yeah, that's a testimonial of somebody who was inspired to remember back 50 years to their first job, working in that arcade when it was owned by the Co-op, massive department. It covered the street, it went right up into the next street. So it shows just how much things have changed.
Yes.
Because of course we see some signs of the change because you can notice them as you go along. But for somebody who's lived there for 70 years, they're aware of the change, just like we are in our town. Our town's been transformed, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, we've got roads that were never there. We've got land that wasn't even there. They've done land reclamation. Everything has changed, but we've lived through that. And it's so funny because when I was little, I used to listen to old people saying, oh, you remember when that was fields? And now it's my turn.
We're becoming old.
Virtually every school that I was ever meant to have attended has been knocked down now.
Yes.
They've all gone.
They couldn't cope.
No.
Have you as a pupil finish them off?
They knocked them all down and built houses.
They were never the same again.
Well.
We need to get a question done because it's nearly quarter past
Shall we
nine.
make a start? Shall we?
We shall,
okay.
and we still don't have a question.
Okay, we'll just go with it.
Right, go on, then just go with it.
I'm going to give you a question. Be ready, folks, because this, I think, could be a very easy question.
And don't send your answers in until you hear me say go, because I'm still not sure. I think my timing on this chat is completely different to yours still. So
yeah, Caroline will give the instruction go, and then you can start giving your answers A, B, or C. The bells caught us out again.
Yes.
It was like being back in Soissons, but not quite as loud.
No.
And our filming was interrupted, but it does mean that everyone out there should know the answer to this question. What time was it when we filmed our intro? Was it A, 10 a.m., B, 11 a.m., or C, 12 a.m.?
Go.
Here we are, folks. How many times did the bell go bong? And Caroline did reference the time.
I did.
You did. So everyone has the chance to know exactly what time we were filming our intro on that Sunday morning. I wonder how many noticed.
Well, Rachel said after Phil graduated, they said mission accomplished. Phil didn't really graduate.
No.
He left.
I had a certificate.
Yes, he did have a certificate.
Yeah, in our country, we have A, B, C. That's a pass. D, E, F is a fail. If they deem your efforts to be so bad that you haven't earned an F, they give you a U, which is unclassified. And I got 3 of those.
You did, well done.
I did.
Yes.
I got unclassified in woodwork, and yet I have fitted my own kitchen and done all my own DIY. I got an unclassified in English language, yet I have spent the last 30 years of my life doing nothing but talking for a living. So what does that prove? Proves I have,
never went to school.
It proves I have come on a long way since I left school.
The daft thing is, quite often it's kids who were struggling a little bit with their work don't go to school. But Phil just got in with the wrong crowd and so didn't go to school.
Look, Lex is saying that it's a 0 to 9 grading now.
Ooh.
So that means they'd give me, if on a 0 to 9, I would be -2.
Probably.
Because I didn't earn 0. They didn't let me have it.
They probably said we won't waste the paper.
I got an A. I got an A in chemistry.
Yeah,
I got an A in chemistry. I'm a man who believes in you should have a go, but you should know when you beat. And I knew it wasn't worth going to the chemistry one, so I didn't go. So I got an A because I was absent. Yes.
I don't know.
But I've got intelligent children. That's because I married an intelligent wife.
Oh, that's what it was.
That's what it was. All my children are intelligent. 3 of them in the university. Yeah.
Right, have we got a winner? That's the question.
I believe we may have. Let's have a look here. We've got lots and lots of answers.
I think we're likely going to have a lot of right answers.
Now, the correct answer is 10 bongs. It was 10 o'clock in the morning. The frost was still down. So, the first correct answer is Ribble Finds and Crafts with an A.
Ribble.
Then, Phyllis Williams with a spanner, who said 10.
Well done, Phyllis.
And Jason S.
Well done, Jason.
With an
shaking
A.
up his podium today.
I tell you. And then in fairness, we had 4 in a row after Jason. So well done, Jason, to get in there because Ed got in, P. Mitch got in, Jen W., Beata Heinz all came in with A. But taking that last podium was Jason.
You had to be quick on this one.
Yeah, so it was... Who was first? I've forgotten now. I've lost track. I'm having a hard day. It was Ribble Finds, Phyllis and Jason. That's who had it. There we go. I moved my little plunge thingy too far up.
That's what you did.
Oh, gosh. I had a fright today. I was in work and I put all my sheets into an A5 loose leaf sort of turnover pagey thing. And that's how I've had to work Saturday today. A family needed their service done this Saturday. And I put all the pages in before I left. And I accidentally put one page on top of the other. And I'm stood in front of 200 and odd people conducting a service. Turn the page. And as I speak the words, I know I've just missed 2 pages of someone's life. And I tell you, that was scary. That's worse than running back up too far. I pulled it off. I kept talking, found my pages, got back on track. But that was scary, that was.
Yes.
Oh, the things we do, eh? Right, so well done. Yeah, it was 10 o'clock. Yeah, 10 boys. boing, boing, boing.
No, don't do tempo.
The actual sound of the bells doesn't interrupt so badly. It is the chime. It's the chime of the time that always comes over the loudest. I suppose because everything else is nice, it's decorative, it draws your attention to the fact that they're about to give you the time, but it's the actual striking that is, at one time, less so today because we've all got mobile phones and clocks and all the rest, but in their day, when the clock struck, it was important information because most people didn't have the time in the house. They listened for the bong and therefore it carried further. Because I don't know if anyone noticed, but even when I was speaking about Burton's, there was the changing of the sort of, the bells were chiming in the background then, weren't they? It was quite a bell-ridden morning. That's what comes out on Sundays.
Yes.
All your church bells.
Well, we wanted
are
it quiet in the town so we didn't have the crowds, and that's what happens on a Sunday morning. They all decided that one church was ringing the changes, and there lots of churches all around. You could hear them all setting off their bells.
But we popped in on another occasion to get that bit of footage inside the market for everyone. We did that. That wasn't on the
we
Sunday.
shut on the Sunday.
Yeah,
so.
we went and did that on another time so we could show you just a little bit of inside the Borough Market there.
Right then, so we have a find.
Yes, shall we?
I'm going to go for showing you all where's my little ladybird? Now, I know it doesn't really look like a ladybird, but humour me, right? This is a little stone I found.
That looks like a ladybird, dear.
I think it looks like a ladybird, sort of. Thank you. You did a really good job.
Wow.
Isn't that convincing, see?
Oh, wow. That really looks like a ladybird, yeah.
Okay, you're overdoing it now.
Sorry, dear.
So that's my little...
It's a bit like a ladybird.
It does look a bit like a ladybird.
Yeah.
Of course, you put it
that way, on.
It looks a bit like...
It's a ladybird's been trod on, but it does look like a ladybird.
But now we do a little dog or a little hedgehog. There we go, it's a hedgehog now.
Well, if you've got a hedgehog, I have got a dog's paw. See?
Oh, yes.
That's a little dog's paw.
I thought that looked more like dragon scales. But yeah, now you've put it up, I can see,
a little pad on the bottom of a dog's foot.
Isn't it amazing what you find?
One of the interesting things we find so often when we come home from a river or a beach is how uninteresting something can look that looked really interesting. I describe this as one of the prettiest stones I'd ever seen. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop it under the tap a minute and see if I can restore it back, because it is amazing. But I'm thinking, why doesn't it look so amazing? I'm thinking, was it wet on the day?
Whoops.
It probably was. So I will... You carry on, my dear. You carry on. Entertain everyone, yeah?
Okay, I'll sing and dance. No, I won't. I'll show you a button. Now, this button here, I can't see any writing on it, but I don't know. Let's see if I can show you. I think it's going to be difficult to focus. I can't even hold it. It's so small. Let's see what we can do. There. No, it doesn't want to focus. It's a nuisance. Put my hands there. But there you go. It feels like glass. It's certainly not plastic, because I'm thinking, oh, perhaps it's just a fairly new one's come off somebody's shirt, a check shirt, something like that. But that, being glass, I think is probably an older one. There's a little tiny bit of cotton stuck inside the holes, but I can't get that out. So, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's really old? It's very worn. There's no shine to it at all. It's got like the feel of a pebble. So what do you reckon? Really old or not? Really sort of... a month old and fallen off somebody's shirt. I'm going for old on that button. Not sort of hundreds of years old, but I reckon, possibly 20s, something like that.
If you can see it now, you go up that close.
Move it over a little bit.
Ooh.
And if I do that, take us out, up a bit, there.
There you go. Now we'll be all blurry for a minute.
You'll be back.
As soon as it gets wet, it shows it much more clearly. But there are all what look like pieces of shell, is it, or something?
I think the little baby Bellum Knights.
And they're all through there, and it's all silvery, and then there's all these shapes. And when it was lying on the wet sand, it looked amazing. And I picked it up and I showed it to the camera, and I brought it home, and I thought, why did I bring that home? But
it's pretty when it's wet.
When it's wet, it looks pretty. So I will take this and I will put it back in a river or something so that it can look pretty for someone else, because it is beautiful. But it's amazing how it changed and bring it home. There's one that I think.
If I could just say before I lose it, Phyllis said old button of better quality than today's. Yeah, I agree, Phyllis. I do think that is an older one. There we go. I got somebody on my side.
That's a pretty. It's pretty, isn't it? I think it's very nice, that.
Yeah, it's like it's been dipped in. It's a marshmallow dipped in chocolate.
Yeah, it looks like you dipped it in some caramel and you're about to eat it, isn't it?
Not that's all I think about is chocolate.
No, that was lovely. You find so many interesting.
I also
things
thought that
in it.
looked a little bit, only a little bit, like a tooth. Imagine if I was a saber-toothed tiger. No, I could eat my meat. I know, humour me.
Yeah.
So we got some nice. We got a few more little bits and pieces we can show you later, but I think we should go into the second question first.
The second question first. We've already done the first question.
I mean,
so
before we show,
so it'll have to be the second question second.
You can try and confuse me now.
That wouldn't be
It's
hard.
gone 9 o'clock.
It's nearly half past.
You could confuse me by saying nothing. You can this time of night.
I will say nothing and see how confused you get.
What? I don't understand. Right
Question
then.
number 2.
Question number 2. Don't forget, don't give the answer until I say go.
Yep. Now then, as I mentioned in the video, everywhere we go, we tend to come across a Burton store. At one time, there were 600 Burton stores up and down the country. That's quite a lot. When you think the chap who started it was a guy who came into this country with next to nothing, started from nothing, had an idea, ran with it around 1900, and it just took off. His success was phenomenal, absolutely massive as a tailor, Mr. Burton, and at one time was producing 30,000 suits per week. That's a lot of suits.
It is.
And that was at their Leeds factory. They also laid claim to having the biggest watt in any factory in Europe. Did Mr. Burton have the biggest A, generating plant in Europe, B, works canteen in Europe, or C, car park in Europe?
Go. Hello, Javier.
What did Mr. Burton's Leeds factory have that he claimed was claimed to be bigger than any other in Europe? Was it their generating plant? That would be A. Their canteen? That would be B. Or their car park? That would be C.
Now, because I have no idea, I didn't check these questions, so I am going to go because I like food. To think of canteen because it's a ridiculous one. So that's what I'm going for.
Get a food theme. So you should go for canteen on question number 2. She thought that looked like a marshmallow being dipped in caramel.
You can tell I'm trying to be good.
Yeah.
So all I think about is food.
That's what it is. That's what it is. We went out for tea today. So
we did.
We did. Our eldest did our tea for us, so we were well fed. Ooh, lots of answers coming in.
Do we have
there's quite a few agree with you.
There are.
There are. There's an awful lot of people going for the biggest canteen in Europe. What are you trying to say about people in Leeds? You're saying that
people in general, we love talking about food.
Yeah.
If I just say what Easter egg you were hoping for off the Easter Bunny, I bet we can fill the comment section with that.
Generate a response.
Chocolate buns, I think.
You'll be pleased to know that it was the biggest works canteen in Europe.
I know, I looked, checked.
Because at one point, the Leeds factory, when you think this chap arrived here as an immigrant from another land seeking refuge, and within 40 years, he was employing 10,000 people and producing 30,000 suits a week and opened 600 shops around the country. And they were producing stuff right up until the 1980s. I think it was in 1992 or something like that, the contract was taken out and another company started making all their clothes. So it's quite phenomenal, isn't it? Quite phenomenal.
It is.
But they had to be fed because they've provided facilities for their staff. And one of those was a canteen. And if you've got 10,000 people working for you, that's a pretty big canteen. So who was it that went with the answer B? First, it's Ed Creative.
Well done, Ed.
Yeah. Then it was Ribble Finds and Crafts.
Well done, Ribble. Ooh.
And our Lexi B gone with B, so she's got it as
Lexi.
well. And commiserations to Beata and Bonnie Tyler fan, because you had B, but you were pipped to the post for that third podium.
Nearly.
So it's Ed, Ribble Finds, and Lexi have got first, second, and third. Yes, Mr. Burton had a massive factory making loads of suits. But he also had the biggest canteen, works canteen, in all of Europe.
Well, we've got our first Easter egg suggestion in. Phyllis Williams is hoping for a caramel-covered chocolate Easter bunny. Sounds nice. Ed said a freshly laid egg, ostrich or chicken. Lexi's now thinking about Tunnock's tea cakes and caramel wafer bars. Control yourself, Lexi. Unless you got some in the cupboard. In which case, go and have one. Oh, I didn't say that in case you're trying not to. And let's have a look. Where was it? Kitchen worker said Halifax was also known as Toffee Town, as there were so many factories that made chocolates and toffees in the town. You could tell what day it was by the smell the toffee made each day. Tuesday was coconut. Well, that's good, isn't it? Wake up in the morning. Ooh, it must be a Friday.
Yeah, and notice there's not as much food on our Facebook page as there has been in the past. There's been more snaps of scenery and craft.
And lots about Japan.
Yes. Christine has been putting up some, I don't know how many have been following. I know a lot of people have been commenting on Christina's pictures. And I think it was Anne Goodwin, who was actually inspired to go out for lunch based on the photographs. She was so taken by the images that Christina put up. She went out and was inspired to have not only, I believe, a Japanese meal, but also flowering blossom tea as well. Yes. So it's all happening over there. Yeah, there's some beautiful photographs. And somebody commented on Christina's photos, I noticed, and said that they were worthy of being put into a travel magazine because they were so good. And they were enjoying them so much. Which I thought was lovely.
the beautiful pictures.
And right, I noticed last...
just a minute, we've got some updates on... Important things first. We've got some updates on the
chocolate.
Eggs. No, it's not chocolate, Ed. When I said about what sort of egg, he said dragon's egg, of course. Being in Wales, yes, I should have guessed. And Lexi bought a yard-length box of chocolate at the garden centre yesterday in the sales.
Ooh.
Everybody round to Lexi's.
Ooh.
And Beata said any egg with caramel will do.
Yeah, caramel is very popular.
It's becoming more and more popular, isn't it?
It is getting very popular. Some people like salted caramel as well.
I like it, but I like it to be really runny, because if it's really chewy, I call it filling remover, because you chew it and it's like, so I steer away from that sort of thing.
Yeah, I was going to mention that the last post I saw, which I think was this afternoon, so it's possibly the last post that's on Facebook at the moment, was from Phyllis, and she put up some beautiful photographs.
Oh yes, that's waterfall.
A very, very lovely day over there in Tennessee. That looked good as well. But it's lovely to see so many people active over there, chatting to each other and commenting on one another's stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
And we've had a few humorous posts put up.
We have.
Yeah, Phil's put up a couple of humorous posts. Not me, a different Phil. Which is good. So it's lovely to see people smiling. Shall we do a bit of happy news?
We shall.
Shall we? Who's going to do the happy news?
We go for...
Are you going to do
I'll
the
go
happy
first
news?
then, and
Karen's going to do some happy news. Oh, you got to think for
It's
that.
a news flash, because we haven't got happy news. Oh, we're so professional.
One day we're going to have enough hours in the week to get a few of these made up.
I will. I'll have to make myself do it.
It's been crazy.
Right, super quick gift for a baby. Kelly and Jake were nervous about taking their 5-month-old daughter on an aeroplane, as most new parents would be. Flying from New Jersey to Mexico isn't a short haul, and they weren't sure what to expect. But on the flight, the unexpected arose when little Romy was calmly fascinated by the woman across the aisle who was crocheting. Her hands constantly moving was transfixing the tot. The crocheter, Megan, noticed the baby watching her and also realised the yarn she was using for her project matched the little girl's outfit. With an hour left on the flight, she decided to make a beanie for Romy and surprise the family with the hat once they landed. Never seen someone work so fast in all my life. I had no idea what it was for us, the mom recalled. What a cool way to just do something nice for a stranger and in turn light up everyone else's day. So isn't that a lovely story?
I thought that was very nice.
I bet that was really special to those parents. I'm going to have a drink.
Have a drink, yeah. Have a drink. That's why I
just choke on it.
Yeah, and when I was researching that story, the mum that received the gift put it up on TikTok to share it on her just on her TikTok with her friends. And the story of the lady doing the crochet, got 8 million hits, which I think is quite a few. She got 8 million people were watched the story of the little hat being made for the baby and the baby posing in a little hat, which I thought was quite nice. But as the mum said, it's just somebody doing something random and just thinking. It was nice that they were happy that just the baby had been kept quiet. But the fact that the lady actually made a hat.
Yeah, very thoughtful, isn't it?
It was. That's a very good word.
Update if anybody is off around to, where were we all going to? Lexi's, wasn't it? Yes, it was Lexi's. Yes, Lexi's for a big box of chocolates. If you can pack some overnight clothes, because we now then all leaving and popping over to see Beata in Germany, because she's got a salted caramel Baileys in the fridge. So everybody round to Beata's next. And if anybody else says they've got a big bottle or a big box or something, we're all round to your place next.
I had a funny thing happened to me a week or so ago. I went to visit a family with my work, and I'm sat there, and the one brother is in the room. I'm in his house with his family. The other brother lived away. So he was on a phone, you know. We were talking to each other through FaceTime. And as we were talking, he says, "Are you on YouTube?" And I looked at the phone and I said, "Yeah." "Have you been to Llanelli?" I said, "Was I eating ice cream?" That's what made me think of it, was Rachel's ice cream. And he said, "Yes, you were eating ice cream." I said, "If I had a hat on and I was eating ice cream, that was me in Llanelli." He said, "We're going there on holidays, and we thought, let's have a look if anybody on YouTube's been there. We were watching you last night." And then there I was talking to him. I thought that was, what a small world. That's the thing on YouTube, we never know who's watching us.
No, that's right, because you know what we look like, we don't know what you look like.
Yes.
But we do know what some of you look like.
Yes, that was quite strange. As somebody wasn't a follower of our channel, wasn't into mudlarking, wasn't necessarily into the history, but purely would go into an area for a trip and wondered if anybody had put anything up. Lived in Llanelli, this gentleman, when he was young, but knew it had all changed and wanted to go back and see how it is today, because of course in his youth that would have been industrialised, as we said. And our video came up and he watched it, and then he thought, I know this chap. And of course he was watching me on his phone because I was in his brother's house. So there we go. Small world.
Yes, if you're watching tonight, if you happen to be watching the live, hello.
Yes, hello. There we go.
Oh, Lexi. Phil needs to do a segment in weekly videos where he samples local ice cream.
Oh, I couldn't. I've got to watch my figure.
I think that'd be a good idea, but then I'd hold it for Phil then while he finished.
Yes, yes. We had ice cream in France, didn't we?
We did, yes.
That was a very nice ice cream.
Well, we've had ice cream a few places.
We have.
I'm not a big ice cream eater, but a really good quality ice cream I really like.
Yeah, I think in Llanelli it was the quality. In France it was hot.
Oh, I'd be eating anything that was cold.
I know, it was
so hot.
It was nice ice cream, don't get me wrong, but I think we'd have just sucked an ice cube. It was very warm, wasn't it, running around the Brocons. And we'll be doing that again this year, folks. We have booked to go twice. We will be over there in May and we'll be over there in September. So we'll be doing the Brocons again, and we'll take you all with us around and see what bargains are on sale in France.
Now, Ed said he still has 2 cans of beer in the fridge that someone gave him. They've been there since the end of summer. That's how much he drinks. Do you remember the video? We were under the bridge in Bedwas, I think it was.
That's right, yeah, Bedwas, yeah.
And we found a fisherman who put his can in between some rocks to keep it cool and forgotten about it and gone home. So we had a free can of cold beer. That was quite humorous.
It was. And a clever idea too on behalf of the fisherman, except for the fact he forgot it was there. Stuck it in the river to keep warm in the summer's day, and then went off home without it. That was the day I cut my finger.
Yes.
On a piece of wire.
Faraway Portal said, I found this channel by searching for Leon, France, I think it was. Yes, we went to Leon. Yeah, that was lovely.
That's the one with the cows on the tower, isn't it?
Yes, and the umbrellas and up the big hill.
Up the hill, I remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember the umbrellas, but
Leon.
I do remember the cows. Because I remember doing the piece about the cows on top of... They decided that because the oxen did so much of the work to build the cathedral, that they would pay tribute to the oxen.
Yes, they put them on top of the
So they put them up
tower.
on the top, which I thought, well, that's a bit different. I was very forward thinking because we were more into the thing of respecting animals today. They weren't so much back then, but obviously those guys were.
Beata said, my best news, my car finally got fixed at the garage after my accident in Wales. Some of you will remember we went to see Beata way back, months ago now, and she'd had an accident, and they finally fixed it. So, congratulations on getting it finally sorted, Beata.
Oh, dear me. That's a shame it took so long, but I'm glad that it's sorted.
Right, should we do some more finds?
Should we do some more finds?
Sure, fossil.
Yes.
Look at this one.
I was asking about fossil.
This looks much nicer now. It's dried. Can you see the detail on that ammonite? It didn't look anything like that when it was wet. This one isn't so detailed. See if I can get it to
it's almost the opposite to the other one.
With a straight. Someone's okay, but that one, I'm really impressed by that one. It didn't look much. It just looked like a little. You could see this bit when it was wet, but not really much else. And you've even got on the back here, I'm pretty sure that's a bit of a belemnite in there.
We've got bits of sea glass. A bit of sea glass there. And another piece there. That curved piece there. Probably the bottom of the jar curved up, but you could see how it's completely worn it down as if it's been in one of those barrels, that smooths it off. There's no sharp edges there.
Frosted glass.
Yes. And this is obviously cut glass of a jelly mould or a fruit bowl or something, but it's been now worn down to the point that all the sharp edges are gone.
Could even be a sugar basin.
Could be, yeah. Sugar basin, very likely. The gauge on that, very likely. And the shape coming down there, quite possibly, because it's quite thick. But yeah, we got a few bits of, a couple of little pieces as well. Gummy bears, as we tend to call them, innit?
Yep.
Our little gummy bears, little really smooth ones. They've got the texture of a jelly baby. And,
but they're not, they'll break your teeth.
Found those.
Right, should we do another question?
Oh, go on then. Go on then.
Here we
I
go.
am going to do a question. And we've done the bells. We've done Burton's. And now sticking with the bee theme, we're doing balls. But we always say, where's a mudlark without a ball? Well, this wasn't a mudlark, but Caroline did notice as she panned across from the Royal Arcade that there was 3 balls, golden balls, on a bar hanging from the front of a shop. And immediately Caroline said, it's pawnbrokers next door, and referenced the 3 balls, because pawnbrokers are easily identified by the sign of the 3 golden balls, which some say is a symbol of St. Nicholas. And according to legend, he is said to have saved 3 young girls from destitution by giving them a loan of a bag of gold each. And therefore that loan of a bag of gold each is represented in the 3 golden balls. That's one of the legends. But a more common idea traces the use of the 3 balls on the pawnbrokers back to a particular family. And this family, they began the concept of loans and banking in which country? Which country did this family begin the banking system of loans that gave rise to the pawnbroker industry? Was it in A, England, B, Italy, or C, Denmark?
Go!
What do you think, folks? What do you think? Obviously, nobody can be 100% sure, but there is a family and they started the business of lending in a particular country, and in their crest, their coat of arms, there are the 3 balls. And they believe that they use that as a symbol for their banking, and then all pawnbrokers took it from there on. But the question is, where did it all begin? Where were this family from? Which country? England? That's A. Italy? That's B. Or Denmark? That's C.
Just went and got some air clay. Somebody suggested putting air clay in. I don't know how successful plaster of Paris would be. You'd have to build the outside up with clay because it's got a dip on the one end so it'll pour out. Let's see what happens there. Oh, it's not brilliant. If I show you, I probably have to put my hands in the way again. So there, it's not as detailed with this clay. So I'm going to try one more. Brought in a big blob of clay.
Right, I'm looking at the answers coming in. Beata just mentioned that they have St. Nicholas Day on the 6th of December.
Right.
So there we go. Because as I say, St. Nicholas is associated with pawnbroking in as much as that legend says he gave 3 bags of gold. But I'm looking for the country. So let's have a look here. Well, we've got a variety of answers. But I would say the most popular answer at the moment is B, which would be Italy, which would be correct. Yes, it is correct. It was an Italian family that set up a banking business which has the 3 balls in their crest. So Italy's the right answer.
But do we have a winner?
So yes, I'm going to tell you now. Lexi B.
Well
come
done,
top
Lexi.
of the tree. Ribble Finds is on the ball tonight.
Again?
They're back, getting named again for a silver podium.
Well done.
And this time, rather than Ed pipping the post, he's come 4th because Bonnie Tyler fan got in there with a B.
Well done, Bonnie Tyler fan.
So our first 3, Alexi, Ribble Finds and Bonnie Tyler fan. And then followed immediately by Ed Creative and Anne Goodwin, who both had B as well. Lots of others had B, but that's the run of 5. The first 5 answers in were correct.
Well done.
Excellent.
Well, if I show you that now. There. So they're getting a little better, but they're still not as... You can see more detail than you're actually getting from... Saying that my air clay is a little bit coarser than other clay, so... I've got some Lilliput, is it? Lilliput clay? But that takes 7 minutes to knead, so I'm not going to do that.
You could probably see that better now. Where you've been pressing the clay in it.
Yes,
It's probably cleaned the dust out of the...
What do you reckon?
Out of the little gaps. So it'll tend to come up more clearly if it'll focus.
Oh, this is a nuisance, this is. I can never remember which way to go. No, it doesn't want to focus. Or is it focused? I've got my glasses on.
No,
is that
it's
focusing?
not focusing.
No?
No. It will not focus. Tonight, this camera is not going to play games.
I try putting my finger there and moving my finger a little bit and then do it. No, sorry about that. Oh, there we go. A minute. There we go. So it is clearer to see there. You can see the little line sections a bit
Where
clearer.
you've been putting the clay in and out, it's just taking all the dust out. So I'm watching on you now to see if it did come up clearly. Look. See, I'm watching it on time lapse.
I'm just going to put this back in some plastic and wash my hands, and I will return.
It's funny that before we started doing this, I would walk down the street and I would see something and accept it simply, well, it's always been there, that's what it is. Oh, that did come out quite clear. I can see it now on the screen. But nowadays, of course, I tend to ask questions. Because I ask questions, because of the quiz, I tend to wonder, why is that? What is this? How did that come to be there? And it's interesting to see that when something's been happening for a long while, then rumours come around it, ideas and stories. But the most predominant one on this occasion with regards to the banking, excuse me, that's Caroline with all her dust, was the family from Italy, which kind of makes sense. If they've got that design in their crest, then that would make sense. But of course we saw a lot of other buildings as well, and some beautiful carvings and oh yes, I'm sneezing now. We saw some beautiful carvings. We saw the lady with the swans. That was very nice, wasn't it?
Yes.
And we saw the chap with the beard.
We did.
And that sign above the door. I've got the sneezes.
Do you think you better go blow your nose?
I can blow my nose now.
Okay then. Just have an example of how to... Will you hear somebody blowing their nose?
I'm going to go have a drink of water.
When Phil starts sneezing, he can go on for 10 minutes. So probably best he does something about that. So I have no idea where we got to. So So I'll show you some more finds, and I'll show you, you know me. My favourite finds off the beach were pipe stems. I prefer pipe bowls. Because we do find not lots of pipe stems, but I'm not like, this is the first pipe stem we found. Then you do get a little bit sort of, it's really nice to find them, but I'd like to find bowls. So when I find a bowl, it's really special. And the few times, probably no more than 5, we found a whole pipe, well, that's it. It's just like amazing. But I still love finding these pipe stems, I really do. I know you may think, she's labouring that. I really like finding them. And I don't think it's because of the shape or anything. It's purely thinking, who smoked this pipe stem? The history on that. Who was it? Was it a child? Was it an adult? Did it get broken? Was it a fight? Or did they fall off the side of a ship? It could be anything. So you can make up any story you like for these.
I also find it intriguing that for 55 years of my life, I never found a pipe stem.
No, and
because I never knew they were there.
Yeah, we just thought probably they were white.
I probably looked at 1,000
stones.
over the years walking along the riversides and never knew because I wasn't looking. It's like with bricks. I never knew the names were on the bricks, never saw the relevance. There's a lot of things around us that we don't see until we look for it. Because most people's brains only take in a small percentage and mine takes in even less. Unless I focus, unless I think about. And it's like that in everything in life. Sometimes if we take the time to look, particularly if we're in a difficult situation and we're trying to find a way out, if we go into just sort of general panic, we don't see any way through. But when we look, and this is a perfect example, suddenly we know they're there somewhere. So we're looking to see. And like I say, we've only found a few pipes in Wales, but of course we've done rather better when we've gone further afield. It's usually when we're elsewhere, up north, that's when we get the best. Even on this occasion.
Hello, Linda. Linda's only just woken up.
Oh, there we go.
Took a 15-minute nap at 3:30 and just woke up.
Well,
you obviously needed the sleep.
That's right. Always better.
Yes.
Your body knows best. I was falling asleep this afternoon, and you wasn't it?
Yes.
But we managed to stay awake for tonight. We stayed awake for tonight. Shall I do my happy news? Have you got a jingle for me to do my happy news?
It's a jingle, yes. It's a news flash, but it'll do.
Okay, folks. Tap my papers like a newsreader. Good news. Teenager inventor who wanted to help his grandmother makes a breakthrough. An Indian teen who is a self-confessed nerd who loves robotics also loved his grandmother dearly. And together they led him to create a new invention that could greatly improve care for Alzheimer's patients. Hemesh was 12-year-old when one summer evening in 2018 he observed his grandmother go to the kitchen to make tea for herself. When she exited the room, she'd left the gas on. It shocked Hemesh, but also drove him to convert the hours he spent on YouTube learning about robotics into a solution that would help ensure accidents like this could be detected if he wasn't there. In 2022, he beat 18,000 entries to win a Samsung-sponsored science fair called Samsung Solve for Tomorrow, from which he pocketed a $120,000 grant and the opportunity to mentor under some of Samsung's most experienced engineers. His victory also won the admiration of his country's Prime Minister, who posted on X that he really admired the young man. Hemesh's exams conclude in March, and it's then that he says he will throw his full weight of time and effort into getting the Alpha monitor on the market by September this year.
Right, excellent.
So I thought that was a lovely story on all levels, but I just felt that this young man he was fascinated by robotics, he was into science fiction, he loved the idea of making things, But it was that moment at 12 years of age when he realised if he hadn't been there, his grandmother could have had a terrible accident. It could have blown up the house. And he thought there's got to be a way to try and have a means to know if this happens when there's no one there. And he's been working on that, and he's come up with a detector device, and he's gone along to all of the Alzheimer's societies and found out what he needed to do, and they said you've got to make it small, you've got to make it light, you can't make it like a watch because they'll take it off, they won't like it, it's too heavy. And he's come up with a badge that they just pin on their clothes, and it takes in all the information and monitors it and processes it.
It's really clever, isn't it?
And as I say, he's finishing his exam, so he leaves school now this year, and then put all of his weight and the money he's won into investing. And it's lovely that Karma, he's got the reward as well, that he's getting to further in his own opportunities with winning such a tremendous award from Samsung. And of course, companies like that are not just moved by compassion. They had 18,000 applicants, and he got through. It's nice to have the pot of money as a grant to research his work, but the big thing for a young man like that is at his age to be working at 16 under such great scientists. So I thought, lovely story. You know, two extremes, somebody doing a bit of knitting on a plane, and somebody into robotics making an invention and winning a top prize with Samsung. But both have one thing in common, that feel-good factor. Somebody did something and was motivated by being, as Caroline said earlier on, thoughtful. I think that should be our word of the week.
Thoughtful. Thoughtful.
Because it is the thought that counts.
Hello, Robin McKnight. Oh, it says, hi, Caroline and Phil. You're both looking so young. Thank you very much.
Ooh. I am young. I'm only 63.
I disappeared then because I just saw this over. I keep this up on the wall. I like this. And I thought, I'm going to show you it all. I'll show you all it.
Show all of you this.
Whatever you want to do, do it now. For life is time, and time is all there is. I love that. I think it's not fatalistic sort of, oh, it's doom and gloom, we're all going to die. But it's like, if you're going to do something, get up and do it now. And I like that. That's on my notice board. So I'm going to put it back on my notice board.
So goodbye. I'm off now. I'm going to do a question.
Go on, then you do
I'm going to do a question. I'm sure many people, at least in the United Kingdom and possibly in other parts of the world, will have heard of the Halifax Building Society.
Yes.
Or as was written on that beautiful carved piece above the door, the Halifax Permanent Benefit Building Society, because that's what it was called when it was founded in December 1852. And Caroline commented on that carving above the door. That was what the Halifax Society was known as. By the end of its first year, they had 584 members and had lent £9,000. But how long did it take them to reach a point where the Halifax Building Society could make the claim they were the largest building society in the world? Did it take them A, 20 years, B, 40 years, or C, 60 years?
Go. Sorry. Go.
I knew. I could see he was engrossed in the conversation.
I don't know, I'm just trying to sort something.
Caroline's always giving me a nudge to remind me to do things, and she was visibly engrossed there. What do you think, folks? Do you think it took them 20, 40 or 60 years to become the biggest building society in the world? It took them 1 year to get their first 584 members and lend out £9,000.
What were the numbers? Because I missed those.
20 years, 40 years, or 60 years.
Right.
How many years do you think it took them to become the biggest in the world? And I can tell you they had assets of £3 million when they did it. But of course, whatever one of those you take, you're still only talking up into either the end or the end of the 19th or beginning of the 20th century. So £3 million was worth a considerable. When you think of the price of houses back then, you were buying houses for £50 and £60 each, which are now, those houses would be £150,000 to £200,000 each. Then in the housing market, like nowhere else, money that you had. All their £3 million was taken up in property. And £3 million worth of property
Can you imagine?
over 100 years ago would be worth billions now, I would imagine. So let's have a look and for this one, I got to give it to you, it's a random guess, unless you know, because I didn't give the information in the film. I spoke about Halifax and the Building Society, but I didn't give the information. So let's have a look, because we are looking for 60 years.
I went for 20. I thought, Phil's mentioned this, it must be super quick. He wasn't.
No, I caught you out. It was actually 60 years later that they got to the point with £3 million, they were the biggest. So that is C, which means, although not top of the list, the first answer goes to Dan Fetters.
Well done, Dan.
There we go. Nice to see you back on a podium, Dan. Excellent. Followed by Kitchen Worker.
Well done, Kitchen Worker.
Mind you, I'd expect somebody from that neck of the woods to
Have
know.
a sneaky idea.
Insider information. And Rachel Bailey.
Well done, Rachel.
Excellent. And we had two straight behind them, and that was Rachel Ramey and Laura Sully's Creations.
Well done, Rachel and Laura.
They had
nearly
the same
there.
answer as well. We had 4 in a row there, but there we go. It was Dan, Kitchen Worker, and Rachel that got first, second, and third on that question. But it just goes to show, when you think that's Halifax, had the biggest building society in the world around about 1912. Around the same time, Leeds had the biggest works canteen in the world because it housed Burton's factory that was turning out 30,000 suits a week and employed 10,000 people. The industrial scale in that part of the world, even after the major mills and everything else, we go back to the dark satanic mills that are referred to in Jerusalem, the song and all that. So we've got history going through the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, but now we're coming into the 20th century, and it was still a booming economy that was being built on the idea of production, and of course the biggest asset they had there was an excellent workforce. The people to produce the stuff. Absolutely fantastic.
Right, now we really need to be doing our last question.
Do you think so?
I do.
Oh dear, because I got another question.
Oh dear. Right,
dear.
so-
I'll keep the other question.
Okay, and
I'll put that question in next week.
We'll do the age-old question. You won't know what's coming.
Yes, folks, it's come to that point in the night, the end of the night, and the most divisive question that has ever been known to be come out onto any channel on YouTube or anywhere else in the universe, and I don't mean the world, the universe.
Yes.
How many times did Mankey appear in this week's video? Was it A1, B2 or C3?
Go. Right.
Dun, 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 dun.
So I don't think Ribble's not going to take forever to type this one out this week. It's 3 at the most.
Oh, here we go.
Usually very comprehensive. Right there, let's see what's coming in. Ooh.
Oh, we're going in. We got
they
the
started
first
to come
answer
in.
in. We got another answer in. Got another answer in. Good. Oh, the answer's coming in now. Oh.
Oh dear, contention. Oh, have you got it wrong?
Me, I never get it wrong.
Well, if Ribble says it, then
Yeah, no, I'm with
Ribble's
him.
probably right.
I never dispute with the man. I never do. You know me.
Right, Phil's just checking the video now because I think he missed one. The thing is, we film it, we then edit it, and we still miss them. Because we used to see him around all the time, we don't really notice him. I mean, he's just, wherever we are, Mankey's there. We notice more if it was Panky because she tends to stay at home. She prefers to cook and just clean, that sort of thing. She's a real homemaker, which is lovely because we get back from a trip. The house is completely cleaned. There's fresh bacon on the counter ready for us. The fridge is full of meals ready for us, and she's got a nice cup of coffee waiting. So she's a very helpful bear.
Ooh.
Right, so
Is
this right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, well
Absolutely. Well
spotted.
done.
Oh, well done, Ribble.
Save my bacon and save my bacon, I tell you. So there we go. The answer is, folks, 2.
We thought it was 1.
2, because he was on the market gates
Yeah.
and he was on the church railings. Yes.
That's very well spotted.
Oh, well done, well done. So, our first correct answer was Dan Fetters.
Well done, Dan.
Second,
Excellent.
Ribble Finds and Crafts.
Well done, Ribble Finds.
With
Excellent.
the full details of where they're to be found. And then we raced down, and Phyllis has come in with a laughing head and number 2. So I think
well done, Phyllis.
Phyllis had rumbled it by then. So it's going to go Dan, Ribble Finds and Crafts, who've had a wonderful night on the quiz tonight, and Phyllis. And I've got to give Jen W a mention simply because the only other person who got 2. Everyone else went with 1. And can I say to all those who went with 1, so did we. We missed. I edited it and I missed. I put him there. I filmed him. Well done. Where would I be without you, huh?
Kitchen Worker said, am I right, did Mankey originate in Halifax? He did.
Yes.
And if you go to any of our videos that I've been over the last couple of months, underneath is a little link to where did Mankey come from, and you can watch that video again and see where we found Mankey.
Yes, we did find him. Oh, not very far from where we were in Halifax at all. Quite near where the church is, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the mill now. There's a big mill.
Yeah, it's a derelict mill.
What was that called? I've forgotten.
It's directly behind the rubbish dump, the modern municipal dump. That's where we found him, on a lane. So just on the edge of Halifax, just up from the big Premier Inn that is housed in an old mill. So if that helps you. But the video's there of us finding him, and the video of him being restored. He is definitely an Halifax lad. I'm proud of it.
Yes, with a strong Halifax accent that he's slowly converting over to Welsh because he spends so much time with us now.
Yeah, it's why we keep coming back, because he absolutely loves it there. But yeah, thanks everyone. It's been a great night. And we gotta go.
We have. I think we're both ready for bed. So we'll see you all next time. Thank you ever so much for joining us. Have a lovely evening and a lovely day if you're over in Australia. And we'll see you next time. But until then, don't forget, have fun.
Bye. Bye.